Guns N' Roses.
You'll take it eventually. You can have anything you want. Better not take it from me. Jungle, welcome to the jungle. Won't you bring me talk? These is I'm gonna watch you bleed.
Hello everyone and welcome to my first podcast. We're going to start it off like this. This is the Guns N' Roses official Instagram page, 1.8 million followers. So let's scroll down here. The first picture that I'm going to show you is this one from Yokohama. Now you could say that this is almost a third leg of the Tokyo tour since Yokohama is a bordering city of Tokyo and only about 30 minutes away. You can see it's the Guns N' Roses official logo, but just down at the bottom it says Yokohama, and they changed that out from place to place to put the new location's name. And here is the official Yokohama poster. This one is rather nice. I like it a lot. Here's a fan at that particular concert. It says, if you have any photos, post them up and hashtag GNR Yokohama to show that you were there. And here's the band bowing, giving their final bows before leaving this show and preparing for their Tokyo show. So here's a video from that Yokohama show, but I'm not going to play it. You guys could go to the Instagram page yourself, and you could watch this at your own leisure. So now here we finally are at the Tokyo show, and you see that it changed from Yokohama to Tokyo. And if you look behind the logo, you can see the Japanese flag there, which is rather cool. Now this was super cool. They said that there were 3 guitar picks under the Harajuku street sign on Meiji-dori, and the first one to get them wins a pair of tickets to the Guns N' Roses show in Tokyo. Had I known this before I went to the concert, had I checked this Instagram page before, I would have went to go looking for those things. Alright, here's the Guns N' Roses poster for Tokyo. As you guys could tell, it's a parody of Godzilla. Rather cool. And take a look at this beautiful fan that was at the concert. I'm talking about the lady. But it says tag GNR Tokyo if you were there. This is Saitama Super Arena. 2 shows here in 2 days. Both of them sold out for the Not in This Lifetime tour. Look at that crowd. Here's another video here of Slash playing it up. And Axl singing. Here's a picture of them backstage with Baby Metal. Baby Metal was the opening act on Sunday, the second show. They played about 30 minutes, maybe about 5 songs before Guns N' Roses came on about an hour later, an hour or so later. And an alternate pick. It's not often that you see them backstage taking photos like that, but that's pretty cool. Here's a video of the fans at that show, but I showed this video at the beginning, and also I showed this video as well at the beginning of this podcast that you're watching now, so no need for me to click on that. Here's the plane in New Zealand. They just left Tokyo and they arrived here, so that's where we're at, and that's where we're going to end. So now I'm going to talk about my own experiences at this show. Again, the Guns N' Roses Instagram page. Make sure you guys follow that. Now let's get on with it. Hello everyone. DJ Marc Antomattei here, bringing something new to the channel here today, which is a podcast talking about my experience at the last Guns N' Roses concert here in Tokyo on January 29, 2017. Forgive me because I'm going to be all over the place with this one. I just have so much to say. I approached the YouTube channel Guns N' Roses Central about having me on as a guest so I could talk about the concert and my attachment to the band. The channel owner never got back to me, so I asked myself, why do I need to do a Hangouts interview with him anyway for? Why not just make a video myself for my own channel? I was going to offer what I think is some quality content for that channel. Anyways, let's get started. A quick history about myself. I'm 34 now, and of course, everyone that follows this channel knows that I'm a DJ. I have an appreciation for almost all genres of music, but back when I was in the 5th and 6th grades of elementary school was when I was deeply and heavily into metal and rock music. I was 11 and 12 years old at those times. Particularly, I was mostly into grunge music, which was an alternative rock sound mostly coming out of Seattle, Washington. My go-to bands were Soundgarden, Stone Temple Pilots, Nirvana, and Pearl Jam, and probably in that order. On the flip side of things, I was just into some Los Angeles-style hard rock and metal as well, with Guns N' Roses and Metallica. The early 90s was my era of rock that I was brought up on. Although I was listening way before 11, at 11 was when I was focused only on this particular genre of music. And I gotta tell you, Guns N' Roses have always topped my list. They are the creme de la creme for rock for me. I remember me, and I think my friend was named Ron. We always talked about Guns N' Roses at lunch or in class every day, but the conversation was not so good for me all the time because his breath usually stank. Anyways, why am I giving this long introduction at the beginning about myself before talking about the show? Well, it's all about connection and emotional investment. It's like when you go to see a great action movie, the action is on 11, but it has no plot or story. You become detached and the impact or just the general need to care isn't there. The first Matrix and Rogue One are great movies that make you care. I just wanted to share my connection to the music because it's my childhood, and I want you to understand the impact this concert had on me when I explain it later. Continuing on, now this is all personal opinion, so don't be mad at me for saying this. Don't start bad-mouthing me and downvoting my video and shit. Agree to disagree, but Axl Rose is my favorite hard rock singer and Slash my favorite guitarist. That duo is what does it for me. Axl's voice is the best in my opinion because he has such a wide vocal range and unique voice to top it off. I tried to figure out what was the X factor that makes his voice so unique. I found that most of the internet likes to mark it down to something called mask. Mask singing is a type of resonance you make in the back of your throat, apparently, to make that unique sound that he makes. If it were up to just dumb old me, in layman's terms, I would just have called it a falsetto, but only it's not a falsetto. On Slash's guitar is the best in hard rock for me. I would almost call him the greatest guitarist, but for me, I think Carlos Santana edges him out just a bit. You could fit Carlos into any genre of music alongside any singer, and he can mesh and play well. He has more range in that regard. Slash just sticks to what he knows. Nothing wrong with that, though. Duff coming back as part of the reunion, making it a trio, is a bonus. But all I need for me to be satisfied is Axl and Slash. I'm in it for his vocals and for Slash's guitars. I don't care that Izzy wrote X amount of songs. Axl and Slash would still be in their element if he hadn't wrote those songs. You may feel otherwise, but it doesn't bother me Izzy isn't back. If he wants to hold a grudge, that's on him. It would be nice if this were a full-scale reunion, but this is good enough for me to call a reunion now. It's Izzy's loss. He isn't doing anything now. All right, let's get on to talking about this final concert in Tokyo. So that was the one that I was at. So Guns N' Roses are playing 99 shows total for what is called the Not in This Lifetime tour throughout the world. It started April 1st, 2016 and going well into 2017. 5 of these shows were in Japan in January, 1 in Osaka, 1 in Kobe, 1 in Yokohama, and 2 in Tokyo, albeit at Saitama Super Arena. I'll leave the dates and information about those shows down in the description. Although I'm 100% a full-blooded American, I live in Tokyo, Japan. I've lived here for the past 13 and a half years. So although I know a lot about this place, many of you listeners out there may not. The reason they played in Saitama and called it Tokyo shows is because they needed that arena. Saitama Super Arena is a very large indoor multi-purpose arena and is usually used for major concerts like this. In fact, it is the second largest indoor arena in the world with the ability to hold up to 36,500 people. So apparently, this is the second largest stadium in the world. You can see all of these people are feeding into the stadium right now. It's about 4:40. The concert is about to start at 5 o'clock, so we got about 20 minutes to go. So I'm going to be fighting against all of these people to get to my seat. Fuck. Although Saitama is another prefecture, a different prefecture from Tokyo, it does border Tokyo and is easy access from Tokyo. By train, it is only 30 minutes northwest from Tokyo Station, located in Saitama City. The seating inside was okay, but kinda shit at the same time. The seats were shit because the row size was so small. There was no throughway to walk past people without the whole row having to stand up just for you. The seats themselves were comfortable to sit in, although throughout the show, everyone stood 90% of the time. There were 2 mosh pit standing sections too, either side, on the corners just directly in front of the stage. These were some of the most expensive tickets you could get, I believe. My friend Jacqueline was here and paid 30,000 yen for her ticket, which is about $266 US. I was sitting in the middle of the upper deck or balcony, whatever you want to call it. I paid 12,500 yen for my ticket, which is about $111. Both shows were essentially sold out. Yo, I got my ticket for the Guns N' Roses Not in This Lifetime tour. That's going to be happening tomorrow. As you guys can see, ticket price is about $120 roughly. When you try to comprehend how much money they made with these shows, it's mind-boggling. When you do the mental math of how many seats were filled and the average ticket price, after paying the arena staff, their staff, these guys are still making bank. Other things about the arena was the stage setup, video graphics, effects, lighting, sound quality, and acoustics were all top notch, so no complaints there. Before I left home to go to the concert, I geared up and rocked the fuck out by putting on black everything. I had my black leather Chelsea boots on, my dark denim jeans, and a Guns N' Roses original gun logo tee I had ordered earlier in the week off the internet for 2,700 yen. Just ordered this one inside the mail a couple of days ago. Let you guys see what's up. I'm getting ready to rock this tomorrow. Look at that. The original logo t-shirt. Awesomeness. Even me buying that t-shirt is a story unto itself. A month ago, early December, at the H&M in Japan, they were selling a Guns N' Roses t-shirt for like 1,400 yen. Could have been even less. I say to myself, this would be a cool thing to wear to a concert, but these guys will never come to Japan. Then a month later, I find out they were coming and I bought a ticket. I was like, oh fuck. I wish I had bought that shirt because, of course, naturally, they stopped selling them right around the time I saw it. At the arena, they were selling some merchandise as well. A new t-shirt with the Not In This Lifetime logo on it. And that's the original Guns N' Roses logo, but with blood behind it. I could have got one of those, but not a big deal. I was happy to have worn what I got earlier in the week. On to the most important aspect of the concert. How did it sound? The band performed 26 songs and it was phenomenal. I'll leave their set list down in the description. They sounded maybe more refined and polished than they ever have before. And let me tell you, these shit videos online, including my own that I shot, do the band no justice. The latest thing for everyone to do is watch these shit videos and talk about how Axl's voice sounds. If you watch this shit and believe that's how they truly sound, big shame on you. Let's equate it to this. You're in the latest Star Wars movie watching Rogue One in IMAX 3D. It looks and sounds spectacular, better than 99% of the movies you've seen in your life up to now. Do you think the shitty people that sit in the back row with their video cameras on tripods, recording that and then uploading it to the internet, do you think it's going to capture and replicate that quality even half as good? You are stupid if you say yes. There is a massive drop in quality both in video and audio. And now think about these people in arena concert seating. They're sitting about 100 rows back, recording the entire concert with their shitty cell phone cameras and mics. How accurate do you think that's going to be? Let me note, you won't ever see any semi-pro footage show up online. DSLR cameras were prohibited, along with any type of professional recording equipment. Staff did bag checks upon entry into the venue. I personally was recording songs with the shittiest recording equipment ever, 3 phones. I had a Galaxy S6 Edge, Nexus 5, and an iPhone 4S to get what I could. I I'm completely dissatisfied with the quality after playback because it's not what I experienced or remember, or a true representation of the night at all. In that arena, though, you got amplifiers and speakers in the front stage, mid-arena, and the back of the arena. They sounded great in person. One thing to note was if you were sitting in the back, you probably had a delay if you were looking at the large live monitors. Axl's voice wasn't in sync with what you saw on the monitors, and there was like a second between when you saw his lips move and the time it took for the sound to travel to your ears. Now, the sound quality was the same throughout the arena, just there was a delay depending on how far back you were. Anyways, someone uploaded the entire concert to YouTube, and you can find it by searching for it. Don't expect to be wowed like I was, though, being there. Let me be the one to tell the world they perform extraordinary. They sound exactly like they do on the records, if not better. You know, some concerts you go to, the band can sound underwhelming because they sound so much less than they do on their CDs and studio recordings. This felt like listening to them make studio cuts live, if you understand what I'm saying. I keep coming back to this and repeating it. This is as polished as they ever sounded before. Even the extended family, the extended band exemplified themselves and showed they deserved to be there. Drummer Frank Ferrer, keyboardist Dizzy Reed, guitarist Richard Fortus, and keyboardist Melissa Reese. I knew little before going into the concert. I didn't know they would be performing a set list, but I was expecting it. As big and professional as this tour is, I don't think they would just be performing songs on the whim. Out of the 26 songs they did perform, I was shocked the most that they actually did 4 from Chinese Democracy. I wasn't expecting that at all. They did quite a few covers, the ones you know them for, things like Knocking on Heaven's Door, Live and Let Die, and Slash's solo of the love theme from The Godfather. The most songs they performed came from the Appetite for Destruction album. A very good selection overall by the band. It wasn't just only their singles that had videos or radio playtime, and then they pack up and leave. No, they played some good cuts you normally don't hear. My best reason for attending this concert had to have been Slash. He was on top of everything. More solos than you could shake a leg at. He went through about 4 or so guitars throughout the show for different sounds. His solos had made me teary-eyed maybe on account of about 3 times. It was ecstasy listening to them. It brought me back to another time in my life. It was like a dream. Attending was a dream come true. My whole life is about music. Makes sense for me to be a DJ respectively. These live shows and concerts are what I live for, and listening to Guns N' Roses live, I'm finally able to tick another box. So I saw Stevie Wonder, Tony Bennett, D'Angelo, Incognito, Al Jarreau, Marcus Miller, Sergio Mendes live among others, and now I got Guns I can put on this list, and Jamiroquai later in this year. Word around the campfire is Paul McCartney will be in Tokyo this year too, so we'll see. Well guys, thanks for listening. I know I was all over the place with this one. Just I had a lot I wanted to say and share is all. So hard to contain my excitement both before and even now after the show. I hope you enjoyed. I'll leave you guys with a few clips. Almost there. People are coming in by the thousands. Way up there. Walking to the stadium. I'm decked the fuck out in all black. I'm getting ready to rock my ass off, man. Anyways, I'm gonna take some more video once I get inside the stadium. Let you guys see what's going up. Even got my little gay earring on. You know, I'm bringing it back to the 90s with this one. Anyways, let's go take a step inside.